To the Kruger National Park now, where a leopard has mauled a toddler to death. It's understood the incident took place at the Malelane Technical Services living quarters last night. The leopard reportedly attacked a staff member's child. For an update on the incident, I'm joined now on the line by the Parks Spokesperson, Phaahla. Isaac, thank you so much for joining us. A very, very sad day for the staff at the entire Kruger National Park, one would think.
Much for the opportunity. We would like first to convey our sincerest condolences to the family of a colleague who has lost that child under very tragic circumstances. It is something that we live with, people who live in that kind of environment. We know that it can happen, but we don't wish for it to happen, and it can end with such tragic consequences.
From what you know so far, Isaac, do we know what exactly happened?
Details are still sketchy at this stage, Marcel, except to say that yesterday at 8 p.m., reports reached our ranger that a leopard had attacked a 30-month-old toddler in the Malelane staff quarters, as you said. We don't know what the circumstances were. We understand the family rushed the toddler to the Shongwe Hospital in Malelane, but unfortunately doctors were not able to save his life.
For our viewers who haven't had the opportunity to visit a park like the Kruger National Park, can you just give us a sense of the precautions that you do have in place in terms of security and fencing to prevent this kind of thing from happening?
The rest camps where we normally host our people and the staff quarters where we have our colleagues are fenced off from the general wild area. But we still regard them as wild areas nevertheless. That is why there are very strict conditions that after sunset, people should be within the enclosed areas. They should be very cautious as to what happens when they go outside. It should be a well-lit area. But one of the problems that we have noticed, Marcel, and this has happened on several occasions where we find that animals become habituated to areas where they can find easy food. And by that we mean the animals being illegally fed so that people can have their pictures. And that makes them lose the fear for human beings. And that is why we sometimes end up with this kind of cases.
Was there a surprise by those experts who work at SANParks that it was a leopard involved in this incident? From my understanding, I've been at the Kruger National Park and I have seen a leopard in the wild, and I was told at that time that it's very, very rare. You have people who work in that park every day, and sometimes you only see a leopard every few years. Were they surprised that a leopard of all of the species was in such close proximity to a place where there are so many human beings making their life?
They were not surprised, Marcel, in the sense that in the past 2 years, you'll remember we've had a heavy drought. And in that instance, that's where you find that predators are the ones that actually thrive. And we've had quite a large spike of predators who have taken advantage of that. And we're seeing quite a lot of those animals. And you will find reports from our colleagues that there is definitely a leopard that is roaming around this area, and they do fight for space. And if they've established their area, that's where they're going to be. But in normal instances, we would then have to get them early and trap them, take them out of the area. But unfortunately, this time around, it managed to get to a human being before it could be removed.
We are going according to the statement immediately after the report came through of this incident. The animal was located and has been put down.
It has definitely been put down because we don't want it to put somebody else in danger.
And just one last thing. The people who live together, who work together and then live together in these places like the National Park would be a rather close community because of their isolated proximity that they find themselves in. How are the staff at the Malelane rest camp doing at this time?
We have sent a delegation from the KNP management to the family and to other colleagues to give moral support and professional counseling to all those who were involved because obviously it's a small village. They must have seen what has happened. They must have wondered when the family drove off to hospital, and once they had the news, they rallied behind them. We are doing the same. Our main concern is the comfort of this family. We want to give them space to grieve And then we'll get to the details afterwards once they've accepted what has happened. It's a very tragic incident. All of us are saddened by it.
Thank you so much for that update. Parks Spokesperson Isaac Phaahla giving us the very latest and that tragic news coming through from Kruger National Park, where a leopard has mauled a toddler to death. The incident taking place at the Malelane Technical Services living quarters last night, and it was a child of one of the staff members there.